Oh, hey, Meister, what's it going, man? It's been a while since we've seen you, since the Russian roulette game, yeah? Also, his, like, posture and everything, like, the way his body, it reminds me of Sarah's dad. If that makes sense? Like, the two sprites next to each other, they have, like, a similar air, a similar energy, a similar, like, confidence, right? Does that make sense? Anyway. Hey, yo! I've been withering away waiting. What? Where is everyone in the coffins? Aw, come on, not even a hello? They're fine, just fine. You'll meet them soon. Oops, pardon me. I'm Meister, who will be overseeing proceedings for the banquet. Now, I'm gonna have you select a challenger.
What are you gonna make us do, meow?
Whoa now, can't tell you that yet. The game is Russian roulette. He would be in charge of Russian roulette a second time, huh? It's a test of luck between the challengers. I don't believe that for a second. There's gotta be a trick to it. Allow me to introduce the other challenger. Midori! Quit it with the theatrics! Now, which coffin will you pick first? First? These. The challengers will go in these coffins. Coffins again? Why? They're just the same kind that were in the cemetery. No traps here. And they're brand new and unused. Lucky you. If you're scared, want me to pick first? Wait! At any rate, let's look them over to make sure there's nothing suspicious. Go ahead and check until you're satisfied. If it's making us decide right away, I feel like it doesn't actually matter, but I'm gonna pick the right one because Midori's standing next to it. Alright, the right coffin. Alright, but let us check them a little more. Q-taro inspected the coffins very carefully. No need to put your sticky hands all over them. There's no difference between the two coffins. Seems that way. Nothing suspect. We'll go with the one Sarah picked. Okie dokie. Then I'll go in the one you didn't pick. Midori got in the left coffin. Was this really the right one? Now for you to decide on a challenger. Feel free to take your time thinking it over. Though not so long, the dummies run out of battery, of course. What should we do? Who's gonna be confident once we know what the game's like? We have to decide now? We don't even know the rules.
I'll do it, meow.
Keen? No, I'll do it. I wouldn't recommend that. You're chiming in? I'm offering you a hint, seeing as you have the disadvantage.
I'm always the one being protected. Woof. You're all nice, so you'd never pick me at times like this. Woof. But if that meant only I survived, I'm sure I'd regret it. Woof. I'd feel like I was a burden. So I want you to let me do it. Woof. I want to know there were people who were being saved by me there. Woof.
That's... You already have.
Because I love all you guys.
Geen. I'm not... I won't let you down, Geen. You will survive. Geen! Now let's move on. It's about time to start. A passage continues further in. No choice but to proceed. We've arrived in quite the place. I don't see any coffins anywhere. Now, it's about time! I'll prepare myself. I'm not going to sacrifice anyone. I'm ready. Well then, let's begin, shall we? Come forth! An amazing machine, isn't it? Are these coffins arranged in a cylinder? What are we, shooting the coffins off to space?
Coffins! Is everyone in there?
Whoa, don't bother trying to open them, alright? 'Cause I've locked the coffins just now.
At any rate, I should get closer and inspect them.
Oh, okay. So, it is a cylinder, and it rotates. Okay.
Ah, the platform rotated?
Incredible, eh? Using this machine, you guys gotta locate Midori.
Locate Midori?
Yep. In one of these 9 coffins, whoever hits their target first wins. That is the Russian roulette banquet.
You mean...
Naturally, the challenger dies if they're hit.
Then Gein's life is on the line? Hey, let us out of here. Are you outside? Meow. Big Sis Sarah. Gein.
They're completely soundproofed in there, but as you can see, you can talk via monitors.
Oh, I can't see anything from here, meow.
If only I'd known. I should have gone in there. Don't get it twisted, Sarah. Huh? We're the ones who can properly observe the situation from out here. That's right. What's important is winning and surviving. I'll win and save Gein. Ah, and by the way, it's a team battle, so Midori needs a button pusher too. Meaning I'll push the buttons in his stead. You ain't gonna cheat? My cheating is Midori's cheating. We'll share responsibility. You better not cheat yourselves. Rule breakers get deaths.
As if we even could.
Well then, once we decide the turn order, we can get started. I'd say it's fine for Team Gein to go first, having the disadvantage. Is that true? Wouldn't it be better to go second? Because then you get more information that way? Unless... Does screwing up at all cost a life? Do we want to hit Midori first shot, or else? Because think about it. He said that the challenger dies when he was hit, but he never said what happens to anybody else when hit. So if we screw up, are we sacrificing a dummy or someone? Better not screw up. Gotta figure out the trick to this. There's gotta be one. Alright. Went a little long, huh? Let's start already. And that also means screwing up sacrifices 2 lives, because he's gonna hit someone. Russian Roulette, Banquet Edition. Begin! An extremely heavy air dominates the space. From what we heard, the rules are simple. 9 coffins. If Gein is picked, we lose. If Midori is hit, we win. But...
is it really that simple?
Above all, it's strange that Midori, who should be in a coffin, isn't saying anything. But it doesn't change what we have to do. We'll discuss it together and find an answer. And by the way, you can rotate the coffins during your discussions if you want. Make good use of it. Okay, seeing Anzu's here gives me 2 pieces of information. 1, that this isn't it, and 2, the chamber numbers do not correlate to the numbers in the initial Coffin 7. Because Coffin 7 told us that each of the first 7 were numbered in order, so if they were lined up to that, then this would be Coffin 5, I want to believe, because it was in the middle on the right. Yeah. So we can't rely on that. Another piece of information I want to address is Maple's target. Unless I just completely misread it, her target was the one in Coffin 4, allegedly. which we were told by her was Midori, but it wasn't Midori because, according to Coffin 7, Midori was in Coffin 7. Yes? And then Hayasaka was the one in Coffin 4. But what if that means that instead Midori, her coffin target number referred to this instead, and this is the coffin Midori's in. But I feel like that's a bit of a stretch because I feel like that's such a simple answer and there's got to be a much bigger trick to this. And also, I feel like his placement is probably random in universe and not just for. It's definitely got to be like a specific one, like programmed wise, but like in universe, he's probably in a random spot. Anyway. Does this machine really just rotate? Can we look at it in more detail? Sure. Okay, let's take a look at that machine. Alright then, I'll touch it around and see if there's anything else we can do. This part of the platform. It shows the number of each coffin. So what are those round lamps beneath the numbers? Whoa, hey there. Don't go casually pressing that. Will you tell me about it? Of course. See, these lamps are a hint function. Hint? Yep. This is a game where you and Midori take turns selecting coffins, but before each selection, you can get one hint. What's before each selection? Can my opponent use it too? Yes, ma'am, and I'm sure he will. And what exactly are these hints? Too bad, explanation ends here. Just see what happens and think about it. What? You're good at puzzles, ain't ya? Ugh. If we can only use it once, I can't choose aimlessly. I want to narrow things down to an extent first. I think we need to discuss after all. Think about how we differentiate the coffins. Alright, let's observe. So he says, but they all look pretty much the same. The only one we can identify is Anzu's coffin. That means there's only a 1 in 8 chance that we hit Midori. Don't forget, we could hit Gin too. Meow? That's a problem, woof. I can't die like this, woof. Right, but what difference in appearance is there? There's gotta be something, right? Like a way to see things the eye can't see? I don't know why we didn't just do that earlier. Because we have the lantern. Well, thought of anything? Things the eye can't see. Use an item. How about we use an item? Sounds like you got something in mind. Alright, show me this item of yours. Yeah, the lantern. The lantern? The light of this lantern can reveal things you can't normally see. But I thought it was out of battery. Was it? It just wasn't working in the one room, was it not? I feel like... But it was working elsewhere. I guess... Well, use the one I picked up. Received the lantern from q-taro. Think it is the same as your lantern, Sarah. Thank you very much. Now, let's try this. I see. Right, each of the coffins were covered in this paint, yes? Or at least all the coffins in the cemetery were. So maybe the two we chose, or maybe the two used for the competition weren't covered in paint, 4 and 5. In which case I have to go with 4 again. But then Anzu's isn't covered in paint anymore. Probably because of how damaged it is. I guess the explosion would have got rid of the paint. I have to see more of the coffins to see. It could just be that the coffins in the cemetery aren't covered anymore and it's 1 in 3. But I need to rotate it more. The coffins are glowing! Huh? What? What's going on outside? We're not sure of the details either, but there's something special to these coffins. Didn't we know they were glowing? I feel like that was confirmed already. We might just be able to... Or maybe that was something that only Keiji's group knew. I don't remember, and it's been, like, no more than 2 hours. We might just be able to tell them apart. The coffins must be made with a special material that glows in the lanterns. Not a material, or else Anzu's would still be glowing.
Hey, what's it look like? How many glowing coffins are there? Tell me.
We saw the coffins glowing like this when we were off on our own, too. Yeah, exactly. I thought so. Well, let's rotate it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 are glowing. Now that's weird. Because that means at least... Yeah, that means 2 of them aren't glowing anymore, at least. And Anzu's is clearly one of them, but then there's one other that's unaccounted for. Possibly Keiji's, because of the fire? Because the fire, like, melted it shut, yeah? Alright. That might be it. But in which case, I still gotta settle on 4, 5, and 7 here, I think. Yeah. Anyway, let's continue talking. The coffins must be made with a special material that glows in the lantern's light. Just for example, I believe some ores like ruby and diamond glow in ultraviolet light. Maybe those coffins are made out of diamond too? That's not it.
Hey, what's it look like? How many glowing coffins are there? Tell me. Well, do you know?
Yeah, the number of glowing coffins is 5.
Really? I see. So, if there are 5 glowing coffins, then, like, what?
This has to be a lead. Let me think about it. We saw the glowing... Yep. Never would have guessed the same lantern would be on floor 5, too. When we used it in the cemetery, all 7 coffins started glowing. All 7 coffins? Well, we gotta... Well, this is clearly where we gotta conflict them, because they're... You know. The number's different now.
All 7 glowed?
Yeah!
Then why are only 5 glowing now?
By the way, there exist no other coffins than these. So the 7 glowing coffins were reduced to 5 glowing coffins because...
There are coffins that lost their glow.
Alright, why don't we think about why that is? The coffins lost glow. So first of all, Anzu's number 2 coffin isn't glowing.
I've lost my glow?
Ahem. Don't go adding pointless statements.
Ah, I'll retract it.
Thank you, Anzu. Very cool. It actually retracted, too. Maple exploded on top of Anzu's coffin. Is that why? It must be.
But there should be another coffin that lost its glow too, right? Is there any other possible cause?
Even little things matter here. Do any of you remember anything unusual that happened to the coffins? All I can think of is how their peculiar smell bothers me.
Ah, that's right. Hinako splashed liquid at me and got my coffin all sticky. Maybe the coffins actually use power to glow? Surely they ran out of battery.
I guess that tracks. I just assumed it was paint. Because if Anzu's was crushed and then Keiji's flamethrowered, it would make sense that it ran out of power, I guess. But yeah, I just assumed it was paint because there's other glowing stuff all over the facility. Like the consent form, for example, or on the painting. And just stuff on the blackboard and everything. So, yeah. It's gotta be the explosion's fault, yeah? The heat of the blast, that makes sense. Yeah, I think that's it. Not... Because, yeah, that tracks with Keiji's. The fire melting the coffin, and then the explosion's blast. All I can think of is how their peculiar smell bothers me. I feel like staying in this coffin for too long will give my suit a stench. Maybe the coffins... The dummies also run on battery. It would make sense if their coffins did too. Correlation, not causation. It's gotta be the explosion's fault, yeah? Heat of the blast. The impact of the explosion. Or the heat. There's a lot that could have done it, ain't there?
See, Hinako was having me hold her cocoa. And then I said, it's hot, carry it yourself. Then she crumpled it up and splashed it all over my coffin. I had no choice but to wipe it off myself. But that ain't important, is it?
No, that actually... If we use these two together, that confirms the heat, but then that's 3 coffins that are... like 3 paints that got heat wiped away, not 2. Hold on a sec. I want to hear about what you just said.
What? Me? Yeah, I think it was cocoa, but maybe it was actually a cafe mocha?
Whichever it is, that ain't the point. Ranmaru said the cocoa didn't matter, but both the explosion and the hot cocoa share the fact of being super hot.
Hey, is that really relevant?
He's not wrong that a blast and cocoa would both be high temperature. I feel like one is much higher temperature than the other, though. But I guess that doesn't matter.
If the heat had an effect, that means something melted?
Paint! Maybe there's something like paint on the surface of the coffins that glows from the lantern. Come to think of it, that would connect to something else. Yeah, the consent form. The consent form in the classroom.
That black paint. It glowed similarly when I used the lantern.
And a spray of steam got rid of it. That's true. So yeah, definitely heat. Whoa, so it was using the same paint?
It's not unlikely.
But then the number of coffins doesn't match up anymore. So now we gotta figure that out.
If the paint comes off at high temperatures, then I can understand why Ranmaru's coffin would have lost its glow. And it's possible that a certain other coffin lost its glow as well.
Another coffin that would be Keiji's.
The coffin Keiji was in.
That coffin used a cremation system meant to grill Keiji alive. And it grilled the freaking doors shut.
Sure did. Just touching the lid was enough to burn you. So Mr. Policeman's coffin lost its glow too, meow. I bet the melted paint got under the lid, which is why it got stuck and wouldn't open, meow.
Yeah.
But that's strange. If we go with that, there's Anzu, Ranmaru, Keiji. 3 coffins stopped glowing. Ah, the numbers don't match up! Well, and also, don't you wonder who painted them and when?
Good point. I want to clear that up. Understood. Let's discuss it. First up, when I split off from Sarah, all 7 coffins in the cemetery were glowing.
Then someone painted the coffins sometimes before we separated from q-taro. I imagine it had to have been Midori. Surely the culprit wouldn't be one of us.
It would have had to have been someone who worked on the games at least. Because there was no opportunity to paint them after we got there, I wouldn't think.
I know. Wouldn't it get on their hands and clothes or when they applied it, that paint stuff? I don't remember seeing anyone acting questionably in the cemetery. Could there not be a culprit, meow? Hey, do you think there's a difference between Gin and Midori's coffins and the rest? Got it. The culprit is Maple.
Hold up. We sure that old-timer q-taro is telling the truth? There must be some meaning to them being painted in the first place. Damn, everybody but Keiji, who's not here, chimed in. That's a lot. Well, let's start from the top.
The culprit doesn't exist. In other words, a ghost, meow. The ghost of the person in that coffin played a trick, woof. I was joking, meow. Stop treating me like a troublesome kid, woof. I mean, it's a brand new coffin, so of course there wouldn't be a ghost, meow.
Brand new.
Big Sis Sarah, you don't remember, woof. Seaweed Head said, "Oh, I can't wait. It's my first time using this fancy new coffin, meow."
Come to think of it, Interesting. But we wouldn't just miss something that suspicious, would we? So it was when nobody was watching. Way back before we even met Midori. Before starting. Yeah, to prepare for the game. I'm sure Midori repainted some old coffins that had been sitting around for a long time. Well, we already got our disagreement here, old coffins, but they were definitely new. But we still gotta... Let's still talk to everybody else. For the record, there's 4 unglowing coffins now. You can tell if you light them up, but it's 2, 4, 5, and 7. Mm-hmm. Well, if it's new coffins, that means they must have just been painted by default, yes? But that means that there are 4 coffins that lost their paint somehow. So I was looking at it the exact wrong way. So Gin and Midori must be in one of these 4. Or wait, one of these 5, excuse me. And then the unpainted ones are completely no-goes. But also, how did the 4th one lose its glow then? What happened there? The only thing I can think of is Ranmaru in his Steam hand, but did he know that? I imagine it would take some time to paint all the coffins. I mean, so long as they aren't lit by the lantern, their color isn't even any different. Got it. The culprit is Maple. She's the one who applied the paint. See, when we couldn't go down the floor 4, she was there slapping on the paint. But wasn't the shutter closed so no one could get into the cemetery? Oh, yeah, huh? Sorry. Well, the purpose of the paint must be for this game to begin with. And best case scenario, all the coffins would still be painted. Or worst case scenario, rather, all the coffins would still be painted and we wouldn't be able to figure it out otherwise. But thanks to that happening, we now have 5 options, but that's still not enough. Like, maybe they were stored differently from the coffins in the cemetery, for instance. Not a bad thing to follow, I don't think. If this gets us making a misjudgment, we'll be in some real shit. Only Midori would get these weird ideas. What kind of intention did he have? Can't even be bothered to consider it. I know. Wouldn't it get on their hands and clothes? Yeah. Sarah, check if there's paint on anyone's clothes. Nope, don't see anything. Seriously? Not even Midori? I can't see someone inside a coffin. Oh, right. Damn it. Well, anyway, we have our answer for this particular, go. Let's go. Gin, is that true? Of course, meow. Then it makes sense we didn't see anybody suspicious. A new coffin would have been painted to begin with. So it was coated in paint back when it was made? Like the chocolate on chocolate-covered almonds? Then even the coffins outside the cemetery. Yeah, Meister said it too. Gin and Midori's coffins were both brand new. So Gin and Midori's coffins both glow. Exactly, meow. Then the numbers would add up. It's not 2 out of 7 coffins that no longer glow. It's 4 out of 9. Anzu's, Ranmaru's, Keishi's, and 1 more coffin stopped glowing. But why? There's just one we can't identify. But I suspect the last one would be among the cemetery coffins. It would be odd if it wasn't. This is some amazing information, isn't it? Because it means that Midori is in one of the glowing coffins. I'm not so sure anymore, because Hayasaka brought it up to begin with, and Midori would know we would be identifying it this way, so it's possible he would cheat and get rid of the paint. What if he has the other Steam hand? What if he's in there freaking steaming up his coffin to get rid of the paint? Oh, then if we pick a glowing coffin... wait up. The same goes for Geen, too.
Oh yeah, then that's no good.
Unless we got a way to distinguish Geen and Midori, it's still a game of chance. 1 in 5. 1 in 5 odds that we hit Midori. If we just miss, that's one thing. But if we hit Geen, Geen dies. Sarah, don't you think it's about time we try that hint function?
We've narrowed it down to 5. If we use the hint, we might dare narrow it down one more.
You're right. I'll explain how to use it. Put the coffin you want to use a hint on right in front, then touch the platform. Okay, got it. I'll choose one of the glowing coffins then. Well... I want to use it on... 9. Red. It lit up red. First thought is just the obvious. Red means this isn't our goal, but that's too simple. Oh! Wait, is that it? What does that tell us? Calm down, Q-taro. That's what we're gonna think about. Yes, you're right. Listen, we can't use another hint. If we don't hit Midori, it'll come around to his turn. We have to prevent that. Geen's life is on the line. It's okay. Even this single lamp gives us information. For instance, the lamp's color, I believe, is the main thing to look at.
Its color? Think back to our searching on this floor. We saw numerous devices with a relation to
the coffin control system. It indicated this, didn't it? It was like blue is human, red is doll, which means a doll's in that one. And then yellow is vacant, which is useless here. Which again brings me back to one of the dolls being human. Which one? Hello, please. But anyway, yeah, that must be it. That must mean there's a doll in that coffin. That's true.
Then we'll have to discuss what we can determine from the color, meow.
Right, if we all join forces, I'm sure we can solve this mystery.
Let's uncover the secret of the color.
It's indicating what's inside. Red is red blood, which means there's a human in there. Rekko, you're smarter than this, come on.
Speaking of color, there were those 3 buttons on Maple's back. Red, blue, and yellow. Come to think of it, I feel like I read a message involving the colors red, blue, and yellow.
Hey, could it be gender or something? Lots of bathrooms in Japan use red for girls and blues for boys, yeah?
I don't know if it's relevant, but there is a colored glow for my fingerprint scan. I kind of feel like it's gonna be hard to theorize just from the color of the lamp, woof. I think it was... I'm sorry, I can't remember. I'm sure I would if I saw it again.
It must be this, yeah? We'll get back to that, though. I want to see what everyone else says and make fun of Rekko for what the hell this is. I know it's kind of a stretch, but look, whether or not they got blood in them is a big difference to identify dolls by, right? Rekko, come on.
I kind of feel like it's gonna be hard to theorize just from the color of the lamp, woof. What do we do? This isn't good, meow.
Ugh, Geen's uneasy.
I don't know if it's relevant, but there was a colored glow for my fingerprint scan. And that color was... sorry, I forgot.
Hey, yeah. That's why I got laughed at for having a red backpack as a kid. Pisses me off. So anyway, the person in coffin 9's a girl. No mistaking it. Nope. Well, it could be. We don't know.
Those buttons were linked with emotions, right? Red is anger, blue is sadness, yellow is joy. Well, any connection with the color of the lamp?
I doubt it.
Is this what you saw, Kana? What's that?
We found this note while exploring, which matches something that was displayed on the coffin control system.
Ah, that's right! I remember now. The colors were all explained there too. Blue, human, red, doll, yellow, vacant.
Oh, and since it was on the coffin control screen.
The colors would give information about the contents of the coffins, wouldn't they?
So, the red color of this lamp.
Red, doll. That means one of the dummies is in there.
Seriously? I'm starting to see some hope. Because everyone but Geen is going to be red. If we pick red coffins, we won't hit Geen, will we? Is that really it? Sarah, remember the coffin control screen again. Specifically, that message in the top right. Data log. Blue 1, red 6, yellow 0. Ain't this a record from the contents of the coffins? From when the contents of the coffins was checked?
Meow. We didn't do anything like that, meow. Does it automatically make a new record, maybe?
If so, when is this record from?
The start of the game, it has to be. Nobody was in the coffins during the game, nor before the banquet.
It must be when the game started. I'm guessing that note was a printout of this log. And since this says game start, blue 1, red 6, yellow 0, that would place it at the very beginning, before Midori and the dummies came out.
But wait! That would mean those 7 had one human mixed in, meow.
A human among the dummies?
There's what?
So, who is that sneaky bastard?
I can't believe something like that.
Look, let's calm down for a second. You think we can calm down about this?
Because that means there's a person who's been lying and pretending to be one of the dummies.
It's either you or Hinako, it has to be. Hell, why would they even do something like that? What should I do? I don't know what this fact means, but I won't be able to fully trust the dummies at this rate. In that case, understood. Let's first make it clear who the human was. Or is. But yeah, again, we saw his hand come off. His stomach is gone. These two die, or can die, if you screw up. Gotta be you, or you. Again, I'm leaning Hinako because of her weird knowledge and her attitude. Between the 7, the dummies and Midori, there's one human mixed in. I got no damn clue. Is it Ranmaru or what?
Hey, I replaced my hand, remember? No way I'm human. Being able to take your hand off doesn't necessarily mean you're a doll. But getting a hole that big in your stomach, Kurumada's gotta be a doll, huh? Hey, do you think there's cases where someone doesn't even realize they're human?
If a doll can't realize they're a doll, then a human might not be able to realize they're a human, depending on how the memories turned out, yeah? Entirely likely that we or entirely likely that the human doesn't know they're a human and got showed their victim video anyway, and we're like, okay, guess I must be a doll then. And especially because they can manipulate our memories, they could easily screw around our memories enough to make that make sense. We all saw our deaths in the victim videos. It's hard to imagine a human mixing in. I didn't mean to turn that. Between the 7, yep. According to the coffin control system, there's a color code. Blue, human, red, doll, yellow, vacant. And blue 1, red, 6, yellow, 0. If that was in the coffins at the game's start, no mistake in it. There's one human mixed in. You saw them too, didn't you? Everyone pictured in those definitely died. But unfortunate as that is... no. I'm trying to remember. Hinako's is the only one that was, like, ambiguous, because she was hanging, like, out of frame, yes? We didn't see any blood. We didn't see the moment of her death. We just saw Ryo getting mad at her. Entirely possible it's her.
It's possible they wouldn't be aware, right? And I'm no exception. Maybe I could be human?
Maybe. But getting a hole...
If he were a human, that'd be way too big of a tummy ache. He'd die.
That's true. We can be pretty sure he's a doll.
Then who in the world could it be?
What happens if I say the other thing? Is that really true? He doesn't have a tummy to ache.
Quit it with the dark comedy, Sarah.
Because, you know, he seemed pretty human, right? Can't think of any reasons beside that. That's a great reason.
Midori's hand came off too, but that could have been a prop to make it look like he was a doll.
A prop, So are you thinking that Midori is the human, Hinako?
I can't say that for sure yet, but just remember this. Midori is with the organization. He can freely use everything in this facility. There's no such thing as impossible. And I sprayed steam. I got 0 human qualities.
Is that all, Ranmaru?
Ugh. Actually, the finger you found me earlier was a stun gun upgrade part.
I see. And he used that on me.
Look, I'm sorry, Sarah. I feel bad about it. Seriously, I mean,
You should. What did you do with Keiji? Bring him back. I feel like all of these are useless. As is this. It's gotta be between these two. Is there... Lantern, no. But I can't... Yeah, we know... We know Ranmaru is a doll. I think it's Hinako. I just don't know how to get there from here. He can freely use everything inside this facility. What do we do with that, though? Do we just counter that with the dummy parts? No. Anyone can use anything in this? Yeah, because I guess he needs an ID card. To be honest, I was just spitting things at the wind there. I was like, what I was going to say, anyone can use anything in the facility with the right ID card? Hinako, I'm not so sure about that.
About what?
If Midori can freely use all the machines in this facility, why would he need to make an ID card?
Well, I mean, maybe he didn't necessarily need it. He probably went and prepared one so that we could beat his challenges, right? No doubt he could use a face scanner or something instead of needing that thing.
We never saw no devices like that.
All we saw was the ID card scanner and the fingerprint scanner.
That's right, even if Midori's with the organization. There were machines he couldn't mess with without a registered ID card.
A registered card? Then why were Mai's fingerprints registered?
Huh?
Wait a second. Are you suspecting me over that?
That's wrong. Mai ain't with the organization.
Stop letting your emotions do the talking, you wrestling old-timer. Don't call Muscle Gorilla names, meow.
Yagin?
Everyone, calm down. We can't be looking for villains.
What do you expect? If they're suspicious, they got a high chance of being the human. I wish I didn't have to be casting doubt on my allies either.
Kurumada. Alright, fine. Then I want you to prove it yourselves. That I'm your ally. I always thought it was strange how mine was the only one to pass the fingerprint scan. To be honest, I kind of forgot about that.
Yeah, that is weird. And But the thing with that is that that's just a simple thing they could register in. That could be a red herring. But she is one of the two I'm suspicious of, so we do have to track down this line of reasoning.
Even I don't know why my fingerprints were registered. I swear it's true.
And also, Mai's final moments were clearly recorded in her victim video. That's very true. We saw her blow her damn brains out.
It's all fake. Her attitude's an act, too. Maybe her role was to move the death game forward.
With me mainly suspecting Hinako with this just feels like deflection.
It is kind of scary how she puts on an act, but Mai couldn't be a full-on villain. Mai had the belief she was a doll, which is why she stabbed q-taro.
The fingerprint thing's a whim of Midori's. No point thinking about it. There's gotta be something there, but I don't think it means she's the human.
But I don't think it's good to decide she's with the organization because of that.
I couldn't imagine it was a fake video. If you saw it too, then don't you remember? I was holding two guns pointing at her head, her face pale, her gloved hands trembling. It was just too cruel. Why hasn't she been wearing gloves, though? Because Rio has them, but, like, Anzu has her hood. So, like, what?
She was just afraid of what Midori said. She's not a villain or anything, right? Honestly, I just thought it was a lucky break. If I were hiding something, I'm sure I'd have a better excuse than this.
It sounds like Mai is being truthful, but do you have any ideas why? Like you put on a finger part, or?
Oh, I really don't. I haven't attached any shady parts. I've just been regular old me this whole time.
Mai. Midori must have just registered Mai's fingerprints as a sick joke.
That's who Mai really is. Happily ever after, not.
Hinako.
I know, what I'm saying is absurd, so show some proof to deny it. I'm sure her not killing q-taro then was because her heart resisted. The kind part of her.
Her not having her gloves could be proof that her hand was changed, actually. I think that's the angle I'm gonna go with this. Can I have a second? Are we sure Mai never attached any upgrade parts?
Ugh! I didn't... I mean, that's scary.
Then it's strange. The dummies have to look the same as their original human selves, right? But comparing with the victim video, the Mai here now has no gloves.
Huh?
It's true, and the video we saw, she was wearing gloves.
Now that you mention it, why was I gloveless from the start? They're my favorites. Did they just forget to give them to me?
They're surely not ones to take half measures.
Huh?
I suppose that must mean her gloves were taken off to attach a part, perhaps.
Someone went and attached something before I woke up?
But you couldn't just put her gloves back on after... You could just put her gloves back on after attaching it, right? True. That's strange. The gloves must not have fit. Did the gloves not fit?
You mean the gloves shrank?
No. The opposite.
Opposite?
You're saying it's because her hands got bigger. Her hands shrank. Wrong.
Isn't it, meow?
Huh? I went with hand strength just because okay. Let me think about this again. Yes, exactly.
The hands that got attached to Mai were bigger than her original hands.
So she has Midori's hands, then.
I've come to an absurd conclusion, but it'd be consistent with the fingerprint scan. Like the creation of Midori's ID card, this floor has been designed to suit the floor master, Midori. So then, it's natural that the fingerprint scanner would also be configured for Midori.
Huh?
And Mai's hand, which she used for the fingerprint scan, was bigger than her original hand, as if it were a man's hand. Then, you're trying to say my hands are Midori's hands? She had Seawee's head parts, meow? Not necessarily any old parts. We've discovered that blue means human, red means doll. Do you remember when she did the fingerprint scan? It glowed blue. Stop it! That means these hands attached to me, they're Midori's human hands?
Oh, that's horrifying.
No! Oh. I feel sorry for Mai, but it's possible that wasn't a fingerprint scanner. It might have been a blood tester that pricked the finger.
You're saying there's blood in there?
So Midori cut off his own hands to attach them to Mai? And instead, he equipped a rocket punch. That would give us an explanation where Midori is human and Mai is a doll. That's insane! Horrible. Disgusting. So disgusting. I'll kill that madman. I swear I will. You were listening this whole time?
It was so funny. I couldn't hold it in anymore.
There's nothing funny about this. I swear, I'm going to kill you.
Yes, that's what the game is about. Well, won't you pick your first coffin already? I'm about to die of boredom.
That's right. If we've reached a conclusion, we gotta choose. Right. What we've learned in that discussion was... Is that true, though? Midori is an unbelievable man, able to cut off his own hands. He's a human, with blood flowing through him. And all 6 of the dummies are dolls. Which means... Midori is one of the 5 glowing coffins. We used the hint on one, coffin 9, and we were told red, doll. But Midori is a human, so 9 won't be it. Which means... Huh?
So, in the end, it's 1 and 4?
What? After all this discussion? If both Gin and Midori are human, then is there no way to tell them apart after all? Oof. No way. Why has it come to this? We just need to calm down. Our options are... Pick the 9 coffin, knowing it'll be a miss, or aim for Midori with 1 in 4 odds with the possibility of hitting Gin. That can't be! There's nothing left to reason with. We have to think, and choose. This choice could end up killing Gin. I absolutely can't choose wrong. I don't agree with that, though.
I think we have to... If this is our choice, I think we have to be decisive and choose... a different coffin. But... because we have the chance of hitting one of the two, but Meister might already know which one it is. So...